Hi, trainees. Welcome to Grind and Glory. I'm Tlobisa Siki, as you know.
And this is Rose Shabalala. Hello, hello, hello. And we are back with another one.
Yes, we're so happy to be back. So, we just want to apologize for a second, but we are back. We're back and we're back.
We didn't ghost anyone.
Yes,
please. We are back.
Up and running. So, yeah, I'm so glad to be back. And today, yeah, we're going to have fire episode. We're going to have such a fire episode, such a great episode. Yeah.
Yeah, it is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
It's just that there's been a lot happening. Guys, the season, you know, when you order, it comes a point where it's like busy season for everyone.
Yeah.
So having to just manage all of that and
Yes.
still come back to our episode. I think we're just missing each other. You know, our
Yes,
timelines were
yes,
just not aligning.
yeah.
It was just a lot happening.
Yeah.
But we are back and we are continuing. The grind
Yes.
still continues. I mean,
Yes.
so that we can be glorified at the end.
Yes, for sure. And Rose, just take us through your outfit today.
Ah,
Your great,
please don't
wonderful
remind me.
outfit.
Don't remind me.
Okay.
Guys, I'm going to my cousin's Sakaiti, but it's traditional. It's like a welcoming of the
Right.
Makoti, yes,
Yes,
the
yes.
bride. So now the thing is, obviously, we're recording today, so I was like, there's no way. Achoo! Sorry. So I was like, there's no way that I'm gonna have two outfits, so we might as well just come. So guys, excuse the
Yeah.
tradition. It's not Heritage Day. It's not Heritage Month. It's none of that. I'm just wearing something very traditional to honor, obviously,
Yes.
Veve. So yeah. Today is going to be something very interesting because we literally going to be talking about what we've both been through.
Yeah.
But first,
Yeah.
before we even get there, Lobisa,
Yes.
we're just going to have a icebreaker quickly.
Icebreaker, yes.
But this icebreaker is going to be a bit different because it's very reflective.
Mhm.
It's very intentional, you know, and I think it reflects on both our growth.
Yes.
Okay. So, the icebreaker, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Are you
It's
ready?
being laid on me. I'm
Let me
ready.
lay it down
Yeah.
on you.
Yeah.
Okay. So the icebreaker. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes. Yes.
The icebreaker is that, okay, if you had one word that describes the season of your life,
Okay.
what would it be and why?
Okay. So I'm thinking about this now. So okay. So my word would literally be climbing.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be my word for this season.
I like
because we are focusing on moving forward, but
Okay.
also moving up.
Okay.
And
Ooh,
it's
okay.
yeah, and it's quite tough. It's quite tough. You get fatigued. You like breathing. You just like just trying to climb up this
I
like
love
whatever
that.
it is
I
you're trying to
love
climb
that.
up, but you're getting to the top. So
Okay.
literally that would be my word, climbing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you climbing to the top, you climbing to the
Yes.
side, underneath whatever season
whatever
you're
we
going
need
through,
to-
she's
yeah,
making sure she's getting through it, you know?
yes, to get to
And
the top,
I like
yeah.
that significance because
Yes.
when you're climbing through something, you're not stagnant. You don't remain stationary.
Yeah,
You constantly need to move.
moving.
So
yeah.
I really, really like that. Hey,
That's
I
that's
love
my
it.
word, yeah. Yes, and you, Rose?
Oh, with me, well, I attach this at the beginning of the year. So I do this thing that every year I literally attach a specific word. So for me, 2026 is the takeover. I think that's the word that I'm attaching to every season that I'm going
Nice.
through.
That's
Any
nice.
season that
yeah.
I'm going
Yeah,
through.
that's nice.
Whether I'm literally within that pressure, whatever I do, I need to take over. Whatever I'm
Mm.
going through, I need to take over. From articles, it's my final year of articles. I need to take over, you know,
Yeah.
sign off dates.
It's
Hello.
coming soon.
Hello.
Yeah, we gotta sign
So
off.
I love
Yeah.
the mix between having your takeover and then
Yes.
having to climb through that. So
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
We
No,
have to
we're like-
climb through
yes.
so we can take over
Yes.
anything that we
Yeah.
put our minds to. So I definitely, generally, you know, I love that.
That's good. That's good.
Mm.
And I'd even suggest you, wherever you are, to think about what your word is for this
Yes,
season and carry it forward. Like,
Mm.
even if your word is like just hot, then you just have to be hot everywhere you are. Oh, hot at work, hot in life. Just
Stand
like,
out.
whatever your
Stand
word is,
out.
anything that you can quickly think about that in any situation that you're in, you like just remember your word and you continue forward.
Okay, I love that. I really,
Yeah.
really, really love that. So whatever you do, make sure that you're taking over.
Yes.
You're climbing through it.
Yes.
And you should also attach a word for yourself, you know?
Yes.
And I think it's going to hold you accountable, honestly
Yeah.
speaking.
Yeah.
So whatever you're doing, you always need to remember, oh, this is the word I attached. So
Yes.
whatever situation you're going through, whatever middle, remember
Yeah.
we said we're speaking about the middle this year. So
yes.
that is your middle. So attaching the word will eventually lead to your elevation.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
I love
That's
that.
good. That's
Okay.
good. Yeah.
So today's episode, do you want to
Today.
introduce it first, Lisa?
Yes. So today we are speaking about pressure. Pressure within, pressure throughout, pressure around you. Because as you guys know, if you are doing your articles, you've probably just come out of busy season or you are still in busy season. If you haven't started your articles, you will soon know what is busy season.
Yes.
And you will know, you will experience that pressure. So we're going to speak about that today, how to navigate that, understanding pressure, and just trying to get through the pressure without losing yourself in the process. Because once again, we need to make it out of these articles alive and well.
We have to,
just like as we are. Yeah, yes.
And definitely, when I like the fact that you mentioned we need to make it through.
Yeah.
Not meaning that we're going to remain in that pressure.
Yeah.
We have to get through that pressure.
Yes.
But getting through that pressure, most importantly, remember, you're defined through the pressure.
Yeah.
So your definition is dependent on the experience and the environment that you get exposed to.
Yeah.
Are you going to remain true to self? Or is the pressure going to change you?
Yeah.
Like, how do you navigate through the pressure? Are you allowing pressure to define you?
Yeah.
To condition you?
Yeah.
Or
are you going to overcome that?
Yes.
Walk out of there like, yeah, I did that. Like,
yes, I love that.
Being able to say, like, I'm so proud of myself. I made it out of there. So, yeah.
Okay, this is actually big. Hey, this is big.
Okay.
Because literally pressure, how do you define pressure? I think the biggest thing is that I want us to break it down so that we can see, okay, how do you differentiate between living in pressure and living with purpose and living under pressure.
Okay, cool.
Right. So how do you live in your purpose, but at the same time you living under that pressure?
Okay, I think it goes back to what, like, the driving force, right? So let's think about this. If you're living within purpose, I'm gonna use now articles as an example. You wake up, you're like, okay, I'm gonna go to my articles. Obviously, we don't always wake up like, oh my gosh, this is one day step closer to the CA. And I think like that's also like kind of the issue, because at some point you forget the journey that you're on, and you're just going to work to quickly do your check marks, complete the deadline, find your clean your GL. You always just like stressed, like you're going to work stressed, you're upset, you drained, right? Versus living with purpose, knowing you're getting somewhere, you're going to the office in a totally different light, right? So you have the same amount of workload, but what you're doing now is that, okay, you're so prepared, because obviously you can't go into purpose unprepared. You're so prepared. You have your notes, you have your knowledge, you going to the gym, you're eating well, you're doing what you need to do, you're a healthy person walking in the office, you're walking in the office with a smile. It doesn't matter like the amount of pressure you're under, you're still walking into the office the same person you are, even if you wouldn't have that same amount of work. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I think pressure would make you can tell when somebody's just living with the pressure, is that they become drained, they become upset, they sad, they are not even thinking about like for example, how to be kind in the office.
Exactly.
They just like, let's just get this done, let's just move. And that's a horrible way to deal with your articles, because then at the end you're going to ask yourself, do you even like your job? Do you even like what you're doing? And then that's when you're diverging, when you've lost the joy of doing your articles, when you've lost the joy of learning at work, and now you're just doing at work. And that's, I think, is the difference. That's what I think.
No, definitely, I definitely agree with you, because I feel like when you're under the pressure, right, it conditions you, and then if you're not careful, it can define you. And once it defines you, that now becomes your purpose. And ideally, it's like, okay, but this is not what I walked in with. When you walked in with your purpose, you knew the direction. But remember, the environment will change you. But now that's one of the key aspects that come into place. Are you able to adapt? Because pressure is going to be everywhere. Whether it's at work, whether it's family, friends, pressure is going to be there. But how do you navigate through that pressure? That's how I see it. So for the fact that if you can remain stirred to your purpose, and I think it's so important, hence it's so important to attach that particular word, that, okay, this is the word that I'm attaching to the word, because constantly it's always going to remind you of your purpose. Because if not, guys, pressure will define you, and we don't want that. We really don't want that. So I really like what you said, and I definitely do agree with you. Okay, but how are you navigating through that pressure?
Through the pressure,
so that it doesn't now become your purpose.
Yeah. So one thing I found is, honestly, it's gonna sound cliche, but you have to find the joy in it, right? So even if you find yourself in a position where you don't understand what you're doing, or you are stuck with so many sections, I'm just gonna use auditing terms. You find yourself with so many sections, so many working papers, whatever you find yourself with. The key is firstly you need to be able to. The way I avoid this, I know that if I bond with the people I'm working with, it's much easier to work. Because I can, if I like have a good working relationship with everyone, or even if it's just one other person I'm working with, I need to be able to first like enjoy being with them so that I can just do my work like seamlessly. Secondly, to have a good working relationship with your boss or supervisor as well, because then you can always. One thing about auditing, I think the pressure comes from like ignorance, like not understanding. And the best way to solve that is to ask those questions, right? So when you ask those questions, you realize this is not my audit as an individual. This is our audit. So if I don't understand, then we all have to feel the pressure. One thing I said, if I'm stressed, we all stressed, because we all need to be able to understand what's going on in this GL or something like that. So I think that's the thing. Like, we take this on ourselves and we're so scared to ask, and we think like this audit will fall and rise on me. No, it's everybody's audit, and everybody can help you. And then secondly, I think also just
before
finding
you go
joy.
to secondly,
I
just wanted to fill in for the fact that you mentioned understanding. There's this quote that I like to look at. Like, basically, it's my perspective. So if one lacks understanding, right, or wisdom, life generally becomes harder. So for the fact that you're not understanding what you're supposed to be doing, and you're not vocal or seeking the help, it actually is going to become harder than it's supposed to be. But if you're able to pick your hand up and be like, guys, I don't understand. Literally, guys, there's no stupid question. I don't understand. It's going to save you a lot, and then it's going to reduce the pressure, or you feeling that pressure. Because if you're doing something that you genuinely don't understand, you'll experience the pressure, because now you're coming from a place of lack because you don't understand. And when you lack, life does generally become harder.
Exactly. That's true. There's actually a thing that says those who lack understanding will perish. And that's so just one thing, even if you just have to understand, like that's like the first thing in any working place. Even if you don't understand, you're just shooting yourself in the foot. And then secondly is to just find something out of like work. So anything, like we've spoken about this before, but genuinely to find something out of work that you can look forward to. So even if it's just like maybe let's say it's your family, then you look forward to that. You invest your time in your family. If it's the gym, if it's a sport, if it's a hobby, do that to the best of your ability outside of work, because you need to know how far you can go outside of work. So I think that's it removes the
having
pressure
hobbies. Having hobbies is so important, because then now you're abroad, and the more you engage in your hobbies, it's something that's bringing joy to you. You know? So every time when you go back to work, you feel renewed, you feel excited, and you're facing that particular environment from a different lens, a different perspective, because you've been renewed. So I think it's so important, the things that you focus on. Like, mindset is everything, So if your focus is on the difficulties, complaining, the hard, everything that you view is going to be hard. It's going to be difficult because of your lens, But if you're viewing things from a different perspective, like, okay, no, it's difficult now, but whatever experience I'm getting now, it's going to unlock the door to my next opportunity. So it just depends on what type of lens are you viewing that pressure from. Are you viewing that pressure as in terms of, okay, this is growth, it's defining my character, and I know that next time when I'm exposed to a particular situation, I can actually climb through it. Look what I did there.
You can just
yes, you can climb through it. So I think it's so important. Mindset, I know it's cliche, like, oh guys, a mindset, but it's so important how you perceive things. Like, what perspective are you looking at those things? So definitely. And remember that whatever you're refusing to learn now, right? Whatever you refuse to learn now is going to become a struggle tomorrow.
It will
it's going to catch up with you. It'll find you. And when it does, that's when that pressure comes in.
Ask me about that deferred tax. I did not even tried to understand university, and now it found me in the audit. And they were like, "Your calculator tax," and I was just like, "What?" I was like, "Okay." And then literally, your manager will ask you, "Oh, what does that deferred tax thing say?" And you're just like, "Oh my soul, why did I choose to?"
Yeah, you can only defer to a certain point.
Yeah, so it's going to find you at some point. Even when you're a manager, your trainees are probably going to ask you, "How do I do this?" And you need to be able to answer them confidently.
Yes,
so
from understanding.
So
right?
seeking out understanding, I think, is the best way to avoid feeling the pressure. Yeah.
And then always remember that obviously if you have a renewed mind, right?
Yeah.
It leads to a transformed life.
Yes.
So if your mind is clear, you know, you can see things with clarity.
Yeah.
You can see things from a different lens.
Yeah.
And then obviously you can translate the knowledge to someone else, like Lisa said.
Yes.
So it's very, very important,
Yeah.
eh?
Yeah.
So just for the fact that, okay, it's still the beginning of the year, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Are you experiencing any burnouts? Are you feeling a bit burnt, a bit toasty?
I would say, I wouldn't say overall fully,
Okay.
but I would say at some point in some orders I did feel burnt out.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I think I haven't. I know what burnout feels like, so I can't say I'm experiencing true burnout.
Okay.
But I think there are weeks where I can be like, you now I'm done. Like this was a week, you know. But yo, I don't know. Have you experienced burnout? I can't. I don't say like
I think it's per week.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
There was a point where I felt like I was on autopilot,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
To a point where you're dreaming of the work, you're not generally sleeping.
Oh yeah,
guys, have you ever had the thing of you dreaming of whatever you're doing?
Yeah.
You know, so there was a point where I was literally on autopilot, and I think I just made a conscious decision to say that, you know, this is like a timeout for me. So I think you need to be so self-aware to a point where you realize, okay, this pressure is actually getting to me.
Yeah.
When are you going to stop, breathe,
Yeah.
and reset?
Yes.
So resetting is coming back to doing things that you generally enjoy. It's something that really sets your soul on fire. So I think I just took a Saturday and I'm like, I'm just going to go back to the things that I generally enjoy. This weekend, I'm dedicating it to self.
Yes.
It's okay. I'm putting the tools down. I'll see those tools on Monday.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to say, it just has to be Monday's issue.
Yes, it'll be Monday's issue, right? So, but I just want to know, like, depending on pressure, have you ever experienced that, okay, this pressure is actually starting to control the decisions in your life?
Yes. Oh my soul.
I think we can both attest to that because for the fact that we're only recording today,
actually,
the pressure was controlling our narrative because
yeah.
ideally we want to be releasing an episode every month, right?
Yeah,
but for the fact the pressure was starting to control our decisions.
Yeah.
So it was a thing of we kept deferring. Oh no, we'll do it next weekend.
Yes.
Next weekend becomes next month.
Yeah.
Next month. So I feel like that's the concept of life with everything, right?
Yeah, like
if you allow pressure to control your decisions, you'll never get to truly, you know, finish what you
started.
Yeah,
I've seen it all the time. Like we make our decisions based on like what we're feeling in the moment, and I think that's an issue because now our feelings are controlling us. Our feelings are telling us where to go, left or right. And I think I read a post somewhere that says feelings are an indication. No, feelings are an indication of what you're feeling. They're not like the driving force. It's not like the indication of what you should be doing. Yeah.
Okay.
It's an indication of what you're feeling, not of what you should be doing all the time. So I think, I've definitely felt like, what do I want to say now? Yeah, I've definitely felt like, you know what, like, it's because I feel tired, because I feel like I'm under pressure, now I need to, or maybe I should put my what I want to do in the background and put whoever's giving me pressure, put them first, put whatever it is first. So, for example, you will stay up until 2 a.m. opening working papers, doing all those things. You will wake up at 4 a.m. opening working papers, doing all those things. And that's not a fun. It's not a fun time because then really, are you really experiencing your articles in the way that you should be experiencing them? Yeah. So I've definitely felt like there are times when pressure has decided my decisions for me, and then you're no longer truly living your life. You're just
living through the pressure.
Yeah, you're living for something else. Yes, like
to be
exactly. Like you're just constantly living for other things and not truly living for yourself. And I think that's where you start to almost like lose the plot of your article slowly.
Yes. And then the definition and the interpretation of articles.
Yeah.
You know, is defined that, okay, no, it is supposed to be hard.
Yes,
You're supposed to cry.
Yes,
you're supposed to be broken through articles. But then obviously when you're hearing those things, it's conditioning you.
Yes.
So then when you start your articles, that's what you're walking into.
And
you're walking into with that expectation of, okay, it is hard. It is this, So the minute you are consumed by that, are you able to really live the fulfillment and experiencing articles like truly?
The way it should, because we can accept that things should be hard, things are going to be hard, but you shouldn't walk in with the expectation that I should be breaking down every single
Yes, you should be having those crash outs and
then you and if you crash out, you can laugh about it later on. If you cannot laugh about your crash out later on, then maybe it's time to assess how are you prioritizing certain things, how are you managing your work, how are you managing your time.
That's very big, okay? But have you ever felt like sometimes societal timelines impact that pressure?
Yes, I have. So example, like age. So
that's a serious donation, guys. In my mind, I'm still sweet 16. Okay.
It's forever 21. But I think age, especially in training offices, because the ages go from 19 to 30, 40s, 50 even.
Okay.
So I think in a training office, the expectation can be created by just you in your head. Probably no one is putting it on you, but it's created by you in your head.
Okay.
So you probably, let's say for example, you're 45 and you're looking at the 24-year-old who's doing all these things, probably just qualified, and now you feel like you're so behind, or you feel like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? But you had your own life before that. You were doing other things. No one is looking at you going oh, how why are you only working now? Things like that. Because you're probably living a full life, doing a totally different career before you wanted to do your articles.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's a normal thing. It's not like articles are only for the 20s.
It's for anyone.
So I think a lot of people put pressure on themselves to think, okay, I must have this and this and this by this age. And you're creating an unnecessary, who's putting this pressure on you? So I think definitely, because we want to achieve certain things by certain ages, but it's okay, but after this age, you're still going to be alive. You're still going to live. You understand? This, the world is your oyster. You're still gonna do so many things. So
walk according to your own timeline. Honestly speaking, okay? Because we put the pressure on ourselves, and it's okay, when you're working under pressure, it defeats the purpose of learning and acquiring the knowledge at that particular time. There's a reason why maybe things didn't work out the way they did. For example, I started my articles in a different firm. Fine, I got the experience there, and then when I transferred, then I'm getting even more experience. So there is a reason why sometimes maybe there should be a shift in particular seasons, because then there's a particular aspect maybe that you could have missed. So then it's a step back, no, you're not ready yet. Come back and just acquire this. Because personally speaking, if I hadn't switched my articles and come here is somewhere in South Africa, okay? Come here. But if I hadn't switched, I don't think that I would have been as passionate about articles. My audit perspective would have remained the same. And personally speaking, I would have met Skobisa and we wouldn't have started this concept, because we are thinking big. So Grind and Glory, we're brewing, we're cooking, okay? Something big is coming, right? And that's something that I learned, because I took it as, okay, this is my garden. How am I planting it? And I remember when you have your garden, certain trees bloom at different seasons. That's how I view myself, So right now it's winter. We know that, okay, there's certain trees where the leaves will fall off. There are certain trees where they will still continue to bloom, right? So it's the same with whatever choices we make. There are certain choices that we make that are beneficial within that particular season that you're facing. And then there's certain choices where they just have to just die out and it will become tomorrow's struggle, So definitely. So I just want to get a better understanding, right? What does success look like when it's rooted in purpose instead of pressure?
Instead of pressure.
Yeah.
I think it can look at success can look at how you want it to look like. Especially because your purpose. I would seek success when I have
purpose.
Well,
I don't know my
yeah.
purpose.
Okay, when you when you when you finally do know, or when you're discovering what your purpose
Okay.
is, you have almost like the autonomy to sit. This is what success is going to look like for
Okay.
me. So if let's for example, if I read my purpose based on someone else's goal for me, let's say let's say somebody wanted me to become an engineer and a CA. I don't know, engineer just came from right now. And I'm now working towards becoming a CA. But I
Okay.
know that person wants, like, the pressure is coming out for me to become an engineer. I know even when I become a CA, I will not achieve success because I am not an engineer
Yes.
yet.
Okay.
You know? But based on like what I want for myself, I know, okay, I want to become a CA. Success will even look like me passing a test because it's taking me closer to the CA. Success will look good even like completing a year in articles.
Yes.
Success will look good completing a degree on my way to So I think when it's written in purpose, you have the autonomy to decide how success is going to look like for you.
True.
And then it's much easier to celebrate than based on if it's pressure, because then it's not even your story anymore. You're just like working for somebody else.
You're on autopilot. Yeah.
And then you can even achieve such great things, but then you're just gonna be like, man, like it is what it is. Or maybe your success is like so good, but then even in that success, you know that it's just gonna pressurize you. So you're not even excited. You don't become excited for your things that you achieve. But when it's on purpose, I feel like when it's on purpose, you're bound to become happy because it's what you want.
On purpose.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, no, that's definitely good because I also see it the same way. That okay, number one, when you were speaking, like there were 3 words that were like popping up in my mind that actually you need to confront pressure. Because if you don't confront it, it's going to define you.
Yeah, that's
that's the principle. Even like in a relationship, like if you're not laying out your concerns, right? That relationship will define you.
Exactly.
So you need to be confrontational. You need to be stern on your boundaries when it comes to pressure. And like literally, when I say like there's no growth and comfort. Confronting a situation is not comfortable. Like it's really not comfortable because imagine you're going to your manager and you're telling them that okay, the sections that you've allocated are a bit much. I'm only able to do so much. So if you're not laying your concerns on the table, those concerns will become your definition because now you're now projecting an image that's not you. Because now at face value, people are going to think that, okay, no, she's lazy, she's not doing this, she's not meeting targets, she's not meeting the deadlines. But then you're not confronting the situation to say that, no, actually, this is what I'm dealing with. So if you don't confront the pressure will define you. So it all boils down to communication. How are you communicating during that pressure? How are you presenting yourself during that pressure? You can never be prepared for pressure, but creating that expectation of, okay, if it does come, this is how I'm going to maneuver through it. Because remember, the biggest thing is that not to remain stagnant within that pressure, but to move through that pressure. Because if you don't move through it, it's going to define you. I am telling you.
It will.
It will definitely define you. So I think that's the biggest key takeaway from all of this. That okay, number one, don't allow the pressure to define you. Right? Be stern with yourself. Allow yourself to find joy from other things. Outside of the pressure. Because pressure is going to be everywhere. Family, friends. It's a life thing, But then the biggest thing is that, okay, within that pressure, how are you allowing that pressure to define you? I think that's the biggest thing. If you don't draw that borderline, the pressure is going to define you. Now when I'm looking at Toby, I'm like, oh, you look so angry. And then now we have keywords in the office like, oh, here comes the storm.
That's so good. Here
comes the storm now. You've allowed that pressure to define you. So now it's literally like coming outside of your personality, and that's how people are experiencing you. But it's like if we had to remove the pressure, and I'm like, let me just clear it up, and I'm like, oh, you're actually a cool person. You're actually knowledgeable. So if you are not stern with yourself, that pressure. If you're not stern with yourself, that pressure will define you. You'll lack understanding within that pressure because you're not defining yourself. You're not being vocal. You're not being like, you're not putting yourself in a place where you can be okay to say, you know, I don't understand.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that pressure doesn't define you. And it's okay, guys.
Yeah,
it's really okay.
Yeah.
So most importantly, I really think the environment also plays a big factor. That some environment, for the fact that we're working in legacy systems, realistically speaking, you're walking into a company that has been operating for like 20 years. There's already systems in place. Some people are so stern, they don't want to change. They are set on those legacy systems. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges that we all struggling with as the youth, right? Because we innovators, we creators, you know, we are very flexible. One thing about this youth is we are very flexible. So now when you're walking into a legacy system, definitely that pressure will define you. So the biggest thing sometimes is just assessing if the environment that you're currently in, is it serving your purpose? Because honestly speaking, if you exposed to an environment that doesn't serve your purpose, you'll never realize your full potential. Ever, because you're operating from legacy systems.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Speaking of legacy, actually, because you're speaking about the innovative thing, I wanted to say before on how to alleviate that pressure, or how to, like, when it comes to doing things that you love. I always say that try to integrate things that you love into your firm. Okay. So if you know, like, you love soccer, try and build a soccer team. Like, get the people together. Be like, oh guys, on a Thursday we're gonna play soccer. We're gonna like interact with other people as well. You know, things like that. People are playing paddle now as well. Like people, you know, if you know, like, there's like a couple of people at your workplace who really like, I don't know, let's say writing. Let's say you guys like writing. Then you form a writing club. You're gonna write about, and you're gonna create a firm newsletter. Say like, oh, these are the things to watch out for happening. Smang Mang is graduating. Whoever is doing this, just like fun. If you like, you know, you love journalism, like, you just write newsletters in your firm.
How do you integrate that?
So I think that'll be like, that's a cool thing, because then you're going to work, you're going to work, do all these things, but you also have something else to look forward to when you go to work. So that even, you know, like, okay, at least Tuesday at 4 p.m. I'm going to start just talking about things that I love. You know, I'm going to go do something that I love. I'm going to form a netball team. Then you have the audit netball team, you know. So I think that's a great way.
So integrating your passion with your work.
Yeah. And
how can they cohabit within one area?
And you're adding value to your office as well.
Yeah.
Like, then it's
you're breaking the system, like legacy system.
Yeah, because then whatever you bring up is gonna be like, it's gonna stay there forever. Then, you know, like, listen, when you leave the firm, if you choose to leave, you know, you've left something that is gonna benefit so many other people as well. They enter. So that's awesome. I think that's
I really love that. Hey.
Yeah.
Okay. No, but that's the biggest thing, I think. In summary.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, guys, that's. I don't know. Okay.
So yeah, I think that's honestly the biggest thing, and I really love this reflection. So honestly speaking, guys, can you just sit down also and see how are you navigating through that pressure, number one, right? Is that pressure driving your decisions, the way you think, you know? Is it now becoming your identity? Because at the end of the day, if pressure is now becoming your identity, are you really in the right environment? Are you living according to your purpose? Because at the end of the day, living in your purpose is contributing to the fulfillment of others. You know? So whatever you're doing should be for the fulfillment of others. So honestly speaking, I think sit down, you know, number one, what word are you attaching to the character? You know, what word are you attaching? How are you going to be living within your purpose? How are you navigating through that pressure? Because pressure is going to be everywhere. So if you're not sitting down, I think this is the biggest thing. Self-regulation results in better decision. If you're not sitting down and self-regulating and you're just moving in autopilot, you are bound to crash. And remember, you'll get sick. Sickness manifests, you know, all of those things. So you want to nip the bud while it's early. So if you can start allowing yourself to think in that way, you'll have a renewed mindset, and honestly, you'll live a you'll be transformed. You know?
Renewed mind, transformation of mind, transformation of life.
Oh, okay. Love it. Okay. No, but honestly speaking, guys, we are going to be speaking more about how to move through pressure and not allowing that pressure to control your decision-making styles. But more than anything, how do you adapt to that pressure? How do you confront that pressure? I think that's the biggest thing. So we are going to be breaking it down throughout the upcoming episodes, giving tips on how to move through that pressure.
Yes.
And yes, guys, do stay tuned. And we are going to be announcing something big soon. So please really, really, really stay tuned.
Yes.
And we love you guys loads. We really, really love you loads. And remember, don't allow pressure to define you. Don't forget to like,
subscribe,
and share. Okay, don't forget to do that, guys. But we love you loads from Clubs and Rosie.
Is that a thing though? All right, yeah, okay, yeah, all right, cool.
All right, cool, guys. Hope you guys have a beautiful day and stay warm in this winter.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.